Hi YouTube, we're back again. We're going to make a good video and it's going to be an EVVA. I'm not telling you yet. But I would just like to say, first of all, thanks to all 8 new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Thank you to all my other subscribers. You just showed us continued support. I really appreciate all your comments, your likes, your shares. And if it wasn't for you, then my channel wouldn't be where it is at today. So what I'd like to say is thank you to everybody. I'd also like to mention Locksport Anonymous, which is our new Facebook group. All the links are below. Quality group. It's active all the time. It's got some good pictures. There's videos being uploaded, and there's going to be an exclusive part of the group where people's going to post things to the group where you literally can't watch it anywhere else. Well, not at least for a month. So I think it's going to be exclusive for a month, and then it might get put on YouTube. It might not. So go over to Locksport Anonymous or LA and come and see what it's all about. It's a closed group, so you will have to be accepted, but I'm sure me or an admin will let you in. Right, so now that the introduction's done, let's delve into the rapid fire. Rapid fire question number 1 comes from Chris Capune. Anyone who's looking for another channel to have a look at, his link is in the description below, and he has got a good question and a very relevant one as well. And it's something that I've thought about in the past, so I have got quite a good answer for him. Now, he says he has, in not so many words, he's got a lock-shy lock. How is he going to get it on camera? And the thing is, you can try and get it on camera while you're picking it constantly, but let's face it, you come in from work, or you come in from uni, or you come in from college, you sit down, you pick a lock up, and you're just going to sit there, chill for, I don't know, half an hour and pick the lock. It takes another step for you to get all your camera stuff out, start recording and start picking, because you're under the microscope, kind of, if you know what I mean. So I'd probably keep on picking it off camera. You'll get your times down, and then maybe it's once a day or 3 times a day, devote half an hour where you're going to sit in front of the camera, pick the lock, whether you pick it or not. If you fail, just reset it and don't bother clicking the pause button or the stop button. Just continuously film yourself for half an hour. If you don't get it on that day, put it down and do it the next day. So that's my top tip for dealing with lock shy. Rapid fire number 2 comes from Keith and Amber 72. And his question reads, it's only short, so I will read it. Why do most people seem to prefer top of the keyway instead of bottom of the keyway? And today's video is going to ring right with this question, because I can explain it properly. Right, so when you're dealing with restricted keyway locks like that one, hopefully you can see that. Let's just see if like that, right? You need as much room as you can to have your pick from the bottom, because if you haven't got room down here to maneuver around the warden, yeah, then you're not going to be able to pick the lock. Because if you've got pins that set really low, then when you stick your pick in with your tension wrench, and if it was in the bottom of the keyway, it restricts the movement you've got up and down when you're trying to get at other pins in the lock. So by using top of the keyway tension, if that'll fit, it leaves all of the room in the bottom of the keyway for you to maneuver your pick backwards and forwards. That's basically it. Now, I'm quite new to picking this way around. I am getting the hang of it now, obviously, because I've kept on doing it. But usually before I learnt that way, I always picked that way. So try both ways, but the thing is, you always need the room in the top of the keyway for extra room. That's it, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. So thanks for your question. Next one. And the comment is on the screen, but a shorter version of it is basically asking whether the Asa barrel pins, with it having 4 lips, do you have to overcome all of them? And the answer is, it depends on the lock, to be honest with you. You would have seen me pick each pin a few times. I can't guarantee each one was picked 4 times, because sometimes what happens is the tolerances in the lock, if you're on the outer part of the barrel, you might, when you push down, depending on how much tension you've got, depends on how many lips might go through at once, if that makes sense. So if you push down on a pin really lightly and you've got, I don't know, medium tension, when you click the pin down slowly, it'll fall into the next recess, and then it'll come on the outside of the barrel pin and it'll go into the next one and the next one. If you have slightly harder tension like I use, the pressure that's on the pin, the driver pin, when I'm pushing the barrel pin down, is quite a bit. So once that pin goes, it all of a sudden wants to shoot. Just like elastic band. If you have your elastic band here and you just pull it back a little bit and you let go, it goes slowly. Where if you've got the elastic band under a lot of tension and when you let go, it's going to go further, faster. So whatever's in its way, it might get past first, if that makes any sense. So I hope that helps. Lastly, but not leastly, Noctis Motus left a comment saying, Rugo, never be in a hurry, on point that is. It takes what it takes and none of it means a damn thing. It doesn't mean nothing to us lock sporters because we're not doing it for money. We're just doing it for the love of lock sport. Maybe if you're a locksmith, you're going to get a little bit paid off if things are taking ages, but to a lock sporter, really, lock sport's about relaxing and picking locks. Yeah, you do get frustrated, but the thing is you're only frustrated a bit because of the time thing. So if you've got kids coming in and you've got a wife that wants your attention, you're sitting there picking locks, in the back of your mind you're thinking, oh my life, you keep on looking at the clock, I've got to have this done in 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and then it gets to 2 minutes, 1 minute, you don't pick the lock and you're really, really annoyed. That's what the crack is with that. But thanks also, anyone who's looking for a Rugo lock, and he just says then, with a twin combi core, they're now floating around the UK. So anyone who's wanted one in the past but didn't want to pay for the delivery charges from, say, America or Europe, then I'm guessing he means it's all on eBay or Amazon. Just have a look. So thanks for that comment, mate. That ends rapid fire for this week. And the next part now is going to be me picking the EVVA lock. So straight in with a pick. And we're going to be using a Lawlocks Tools hook. Anyone who's in the market for any picks, I strongly suggest that you at least give these a look and a try out, because they are excellent picks. They're very well made. They're made from 301 stainless steel. I'm not an affiliate and I don't get any money for you going to the links below to his website, but he does show Locksport Anonymous good support. He makes good donations. He was the person who supplied the last prize for the 200 giveaway, so it's only right that I show him some support by showcasing these picks because they're mint. So we've just had to click off 2, we're going after 1, and we've dropped into a false set. So a false set is basically when your keyway goes off 10 degrees up to the 1 o'clock position, and it means you're stuck on a security pin. So a spool pin, a T-pin, or a mushroom. And all it is the pin that was stuck beforehand has a thicker diameter in the centre than a spool pin, a mushroom pin, or a T-pin. So what happens is when you pick it, instead of it going just a tiny little bit to the next pin, because the body, the middle of the pin, is a lot thinner than the pin that you've just set, it kicks it off to the side because there's less material there at the shear line. So to navigate to the spool pin, you need to just press it on the pin like that, and what you'll notice is the plug's trying to turn the opposite way to which you're trying to pick. So that's telling me that we're stuck on a spool pin or a like. So all you do is you push up and you let off the tension a little bit. With this lock I've got to manually turn it at the same time. And we've just come out of the false set, which means that something else has fell down, which is 1. So then you'll notice that it's went back over, and then you repeat the process. Just push it on the pins, not too hard. Good there. Another click there. I'm just trying to find another one, which is there. Make sure you're right on the pin head. That's it. So now we're looking for the next one. I think I'm going to need something just a little bit steeper to get up the back end. Quickly swap picks, make sure that that tension wrench is in properly. And this is just the one that I knocked up a while ago. Just to reach up there, see if we can get at it. The last one doesn't want to be picked, which is at number 4. Yeah, that's the EVVA Dps picked. Take that out of there and we'll get it gutted. So yeah, lovely lock to pick. Quite challenging in the fact that when you're picking the spool pins, you've got to manually rotate it back, where in some locks you can just push down on the spool pin and it comes round for you. I'm going to be using this little diddy thing. We can lock it back up because we have got the key. Seeing that, I'm not going to need to lock it back up. Actually, it might just be just as easy to help us get the circlip off. This lock came from Papa Smurf, so his details will also be in the bottom. I know where that is, don't worry. Slide our follower in. If I can find one. Put one to one side. So as you can see, let me just see where my pins are. When this lock has the key in, it allows this sidebar to be flush. Yeah. If I just take, let me just take this the pins out, and then I'll be able to show you a little bit better. So pin 1, standard stainless steel. 2, standard. 3, standard. 4, standard. Pin and tray is that small, I'm missing the bloody thing. Standard. And 5, standard. All stainless steel, so all I can imagine is for drill protection. Now, going back to what I was saying, in fact, let me just take that out first. We'll gut this one. Get my tweezers. Right, make sure that stops in. So in 1, it's a standard and it's a stainless steel spring again. Pin. 2, standard. 3, which is where I thought there would have been a spool pin, and I'd be right. 4, spool pin. Lastly but not least, another spool. Right, so take the follower out. So in there, as you can see, sort of focus. See how there's a little lip there? Well, that little ridge is ground out all the way down. It's a shame I can't get that angle. Basically, oh there, see that little line that runs down? That's basically an indent, which then traps the sidebar when the wrong key is put in. So if you put this key in and it was the wrong one, so to simulate that, I'm just going to put the key in 4 clicks. And it was there. See how that comes up now, and that's solid. Well, if that was solid and it was still in the lock, what would happen is this part would go into the side of the lock in the ridge and prevent it from being opened, even if you had the right standard pin cuttings on the bottom of the key. Without these side cuts, this sidebar can't sit flush to the plug as it is now. So to simulate it again, 4 clicks in, that's the way it would be in the lock. So you wouldn't be able to spin it. So I hope that makes sense. I'll give you a close-up of what the pins look like. There you are. They're the bits that interact with the cuts on the side of the key. So all in all, a nice lock. Lovely lock to pick. Now, just to explain, or try to explain, what was happening was, when I first started to pick the lock and I was tensioning the lock and I didn't pick any pins, this pin here and that pin there would have been the ones that I was picking. Now once this pin has pushed this one to the shear line and that one's to the shear line, the lock between these two would have hardly moved. When you start getting to this one, it would have fell on the center of this, meaning it fell into the full set, which means this pin here is stuck between the chamber below and the shear line. So the shear line will be there. Now when you pick this pin, it wants to move up and you'll hit this thick part, which is what gives you the counter rotation, the opposite way to which you want to pick the lock, until the shear line reaches the bottom of the pin, and then that pin is then set. The beauty of these is, once that pin's been set and you move on to the next one, and maybe you're not having as much luck, the idea is that it'll reset the rest of the lock. So they are a good security feature, but once you get the grips with them, they kind of give you the key to the lock because you know exactly what's going on. In my opinion, some of the hardest pins to pick is serrated pins. That's just my opinion. So yeah, stainless steel across the bottom, first 2 stainless steel up top, and then the rest are brass spool pins. I presume they're brass. Sidebar has been explained. That's the key one more time. I will do a slideshow at the end, just to give everyone a closer look. Low lock tools, lovely pick, and I have give that pick some stick. It seems to be holding up. If you like this video as much as I like making it, please show your support and leave us a comment, a like. Give us a share if you like. That would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, without you watching these videos and leaving your comments, then it wouldn't be where it was, the channel. So really appreciate it. And if you want, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends about the channel, or come see us at Locksport Anonymous on Facebook. All the links are below. Bye for now.